So this video is gonna be pretty long and a little more serious than my regular content. More of a vent video, if anything, so if you prefer to watch something more lighthearted, I recommend you click off the video now. That's all. Hey! I just wanted to tell you I love your videos. Aw, thanks. Glad you enjoy them. Oh my god, you actually replied! You're so cool! Wanna be friends? Friendship is a weird thing. Sure, on the surface it seems like we all have a shared common understanding on what it means to be friends with someone, but from my experience, I'd say that definition varies a lot from person to person. When should you consider someone a friend versus when are they just a stranger or an acquaintance? How do they relate to one another? Back in 2014, back when Discord wasn't a thing yet, I used to talk a lot to random people on Skype. People I met on SoundCloud, random people from Twitter, just a whole array of people. There was this one person in particular back then that I remember chatting to almost like every week. As far as I can remember, the conversations were nothing special, just the usual hey, what's up, what you doing type of conversations. After a few months of contact, some conversation happened where the topic of friendship came up. Or well, he asked what he was to me. And I just straight up told him that, yeah, he was a nice person and I didn't mind talking to him, but to be honest, I just wasn't able to see him as a friend. And that really offended him, like he was mad. Because to him, he did view me as a friend. After all, we had been talking for ages at that point. So yeah, I did feel pretty bad about not being able to return that feeling. That was the first time I realized that my definition of what a friend was didn't necessarily apply to other people. Some people are very quick to call someone their friend, while others are a lot stricter, and I fall in that latter camp. Throughout the first 3 years of high school, I mostly hung out with a small group of other students that were all in the same year as me. We didn't really share much in terms of interests, but we got along pretty well. I never really made any other IRL friends beyond them during those 6 years of high school, and unfortunately we kinda drifted apart soon after graduating. During those years, I also made a few online friends who, at the time, I actually considered closer friends than the people I hung out with IRL, because we just had so much more in common with one another in terms of interests, and I just felt this genuine, platonic friendship connection with them. Like, really wanting to hang out with them simply because they were just so cool and so much fun to talk to. That is something I truly value in friendship. But again, like with other prior friends, we also ended up drifting apart. I don't know, I just crave this genuine connection with other people, and I don't really like being friends with people just for the sake of having friends. Is that weird? I also just wonder how other YouTubers go about making friends with other content creators. Like, I'm in a Discord server with a few of them big boy channels, but no way in hell I'm ever talking to those people. Like, not just the fact that they are big and intimidating, even though they're just a human like me behind a screen, nothing special, I just hate group settings. It makes me feel like I need to act a certain way, be extra funny, extra memey, conform, I don't know, just whatever the setting calls for. Like, I fear that I might weird out people or offend people by just being me. So instead, I'd rather just lurk and DM with people. Of course, I would love to have some online friends, befriending other content creators and stuff, but I just kinda forget to engage, interact. Like, outside of my own Discord server, I don't really do the whole social media thing. I don't comment on other people's videos, I don't reply to other people's tweets, I just create stuff, post it, and interact with my audience. Sure, I watch a ton of other people's content, but I rarely feel the urge to leave a comment. Besides, just sliding into another YouTuber's DMs without any prior contact just seems very sketchy. Like, hello, you don't know me, but I want to be friends with you. Like, no, you just don't do that. I mean, sure, I would love that to happen, but I don't want to be a nuisance to other content creators like that. Inferiority complex coming in. Anyway, point in case, because of this mindset I didn't really have anyone left after high school. Though, to be fair, I do think that is quite common, so I'm not trying to earn pity points here or something by telling you all this shit. Luckily, during my second year of college, which is about 4 years ago, I met this group of people I ended up connecting really, really well with. The initial reason for which simply being our shared love for weeb shit, which is something I had never experienced before. Like, I had never, ever engaged with anybody in real life, let alone be friends with people that were also into like geeky, nerdy shit like anime and internet culture and like all that sort of stuff. So over the semester, I slowly but surely started opening up to these people because I finally felt like I was understood and didn't have to be so scared of judgment. There was this one specific day I remember very, very clearly. Like, it was just like any other day. Teacher wasn't there yet, I walked into class, a couple students were already there, lights were off, and lo and behold, somebody is playing anime off of their laptop full screen on the classroom projector. And I just thought that was the coolest shit ever. Anime? In class? What? During that semester, because we were all part of the same class, we would talk for hours and hours about anime, personal things we experienced, my YouTube shit. It was just so much fun. I miss those days. Simply by talking to them on a regular basis, talking about stuff that you are passionate about, and seeing people appreciate that passion rather than people being weirded out by it is just so otherworldly to me. It's just so surreal being able to connect with other people on such a, I wouldn't say deep level, but deeper level. I guess that's what I very much value in friendship. Genuine interest and understanding in one another. Unfortunately, due to the nature of college, our friend group ended up being scattered across several semesters and classes, due to some people passing and others not. We would still occasionally meet up for board game days and D&D sessions and the like, but it just didn't really feel the same as before to me. Like, I enjoy board games, but during those days, 95% of the conversations would consist of board game talk. And while enjoyable, I would much prefer us doing something not so activity heavy, so that there's more room to just, like, chat and catch up with one another. I know that may sound ultra boomer of me, but I legit prefer high teas and chatting to board game days any day. Last year, I distinctly remember we all, or well, a large bunch of us went out for dinner at this all-you-can-eat restaurant, and it just felt a lot more fun to me, like just chatting with one another. And afterwards, all of us were like, oh yeah, that was so much fun, we should totally do this more often. But then part of our group entered their final semester of college, which for my major is hectic as shit. It's basically a semester-long internship combined with writing a thesis, so barely any spare time. And once that was over, COVID happened. So going out for dinner wasn't happening anytime soon. Around summer of this year, pretty much everyone in my friend group had graduated from college and kinda started building their own career paths and lives. Some of us got jobs, others didn't, but I just couldn't help but feel like I was behind them, in a sense, like less inferior. Because I, unlike them, wasn't pursuing a normal job right out of the gates of school. Neither did I want to pursue one, despite feeling like I should, because that's the correct thing to do. But because of my overwhelming passion for YouTube, I just felt this was the perfect opportunity to try out this whole YouTube thing, which, to be honest, I felt was not something I should feel proud of or anything. Rather, it's something I felt was shameful. Like, how dare you waste your time pursuing something that's clearly not gonna work out? It wasn't always like that. Like, I used to be super proud of my YouTube stuff towards my friends. I would talk about it a ton, both in person and online. But basically, ever since we got pulled apart in college, and that big growth spike I had in 2018 happened to my channel, I didn't really book any more quote-unquote noteworthy success anymore. So why bother keeping them updated on YouTube videos if everything I make nowadays pales to compare to the things I accomplished back in 2018? There wasn't really anything worthy to talk about regarding my channel. So ever since, I stopped informing them about YouTube. And with that, mostly quit talking to them altogether. Not that I don't view them as friends any longer, like, I really do. If anything, I'd say I am the one that's the crappy friend. I've come to realize I need those genuine, frequent conversations to make myself feel safe and accepted. By chatting with them, you just keep the sense of humanity, seeing them as equals. Like, they're no better or worse than you, but without that, without the conversations, I can't help but start viewing them in, like, very skewed ways. Especially when people progress with their lives that is deemed as the proper way forward while I am doing this stuff. I start seeing them as being better than me due to a lack of communication, and so my brain just starts filling in those blanks with info I make up in my own mind, causing me to feel that they're somehow superior to me because I don't have the full picture of what's going on, even if I think I do. And because of that, I feel a need to have a justified reason to be talking to someone I view as quote-unquote more superior than me, or more important than me, even if that's friends. You know, like the people you should be feeling the most comfy around. Don't get me wrong, I still read all the texts, all the group chat messages, everything, but I just never really talk about my life with them anymore. It's not important. That plus I haven't really properly spoken to them in months anyway, so I can't just barge into a conversation like that. Like, I would need a justified reason to do that, like an accomplishment or something. And so the loop continues and I can feel the distance growing and growing. I really don't want that to happen. I don't want us to drift apart. I don't want to lose them. I don't want to be alone. Beyond my boyfriend, they're the only friends I have, both offline and online. Oh, boo-hoo, poor you. Throwing a whole pity circus for yourself. Look at me, poor me, I'm losing touch with my friends. Well, at least you have friends, you ungrateful shit. Think of all the people who don't have friends. What gives you the right to complain? Besides, it's your own goddamn fault you're losing touch with them. Of course they are fucking interested in your life, you dipshit. They are your friends. They care about you. Stop being so dramatic and blowing everything out of proportion. I know you're an attention whore and you want attention, but no need to ask for this much pity, okay? This is just how I fucking feel, okay? And I am entitled to my own feelings, even if it might not make sense to you. Shut the fuck up. I am not asking for pity. This is all just my own fucking fault, I know, okay? I know that. Just, am I not allowed to vent? Does everything I feel that is remotely negative immediately mean I'm trying to get pity? No. That's what sometimes plays inside my head. Not exactly fun. But yeah, the less I interact, the less confident I get that I'm of importance to my group of friends. I mean, I'm just the girl that makes YouTube videos. That's the persona I feel I need to embody within the group. And anything that's not related to that doesn't really matter much, unless it's some sort of accomplishment. Hell, I feel more comfortable being the real me online on live streams with I don't know how many strangers than with my friends. And again, none of this is their fault that this is happening. If anything, this is all my own fault. I mean, I used to be way more open with them, but slowly I've just been retreating back to my own world. In solitude. I guess that's just my default state or something. The reason I am this way, I often contribute to my upbringing, but that's all I'm really willing to share regarding that. If any of my friends are watching this video and have made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I'm so sorry I never brought this up to you all, but I figured you all would just think that this is just me overreacting, blowing things out of proportion, because so many people go through this sort of shit, so, you know, suck it up, and that this is not all really that bad, and I shouldn't be feeling this way. Even if you guys might no longer really view me as much of a close friend, and to make clear, I wouldn't blame you at all, cause I'm not exactly the greatest friend, I recognize that. Just know that you guys are super fucking important to me, and I will always view you as my friends. And to the rest of you, thank you for hearing me out. Maybe this will resonate with other people. If it does, I hope this helps you in some sort of way, and I hope you'll be able to feel better soon. Please, don't be the same as me. Instead, please just talk to your friends and be open with them. Thank you for watching, and once again, sorry for the long video. Bye bye. Okay. That video took quite a while to make. No worries, guys, I'm totally fine now. Pretty much ever since I wrote the script and storyboard for this video, I've kinda managed to breathe a sigh of relief. I just really needed to vent about this shit. Also, I quickly want to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday. January 6th was my birthday and I turned 24, so thank you to all who happened to remember. Anyway, luckily, I've managed to come a long way since I was a teen. Back then, these issues were 10 times more prevalent and worse in my life, but as you saw, they still do plague me a little from time to time. For example, in my worldview, I'm just one of the many background people that aren't really all that important, and to be honest, I've mostly come to terms with that. I'm fine with that, cause it allows me to do whatever the hell I like, and I can simply be me, by myself, without people judging me. As long as I'm not in the direct presence of others, I can be my own genuine self, and I'm happy with that. Anyway, sorry for all the blabbering. I want to give a special shout out to Methetcha, Romanov, Matt, and Snow Comics for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all very much.